Well, good morning, everybody. Our first map today looks at the last 72 hours of total accumulated precipitation. As the system's kind of come out of the Red River Valley of the South and moved toward Illinois today, it did deliver some incredibly heavy rains that kind of added up right here in parts of the Arklatex region. Some spots here grabbing over 6 inches of rain, continuing the flooding problems here. We saw severe weather yesterday, numerous reports of strong straight-line wind damage from southern Illinois all the way down to parts of the lower Mississippi River Valley. And right now, the Storm Prediction Center has identified 3 different reports of tornadoes in parts of southern Mississippi. So this system's been quite active. As it continues to move forward, this is kind of an animation of the last 6 hours or so of this system through early this morning here. The biggest challenge for us in forecasting will be the rate at which this converts over to snow in parts of Iowa. A lot of very mild air coming into this area. And last night as I was driving through here, I noted that it was still in the upper 30s late last night. So I was kind of surprised to see that. I was hoping for some colder air quicker to deliver more snow into this area. But as it stands, we have had some that came out of parts of Missouri, so we can take a look here. This is through 6 a.m., looking at the national analysis here. So some local areas of 2 to 4 inches of snow, maybe some locally higher amounts have come out of this, but we're watching this morning for the conversion of it over in Iowa. I linked in the video today a quick link to a Twitter video of some of the silver dollar snowflakes that were falling. And that was one of the things that the National Weather Service has been kind of keeping track of right in through this area. So there are still winter storm warnings out for eastern Iowa, but winter weather advisories are stretched from parts of Missouri all the way up through this part of Wisconsin. Now, outside of this, very, very strong winds. We have high wind watches and warnings in place here, and then high wind advisories on the back side. And you can see all of these, again, these polygons down here represent where we've got flooding on our river system right now. So I agree with the National Weather Service on this. This is what the forecast is. Just get you oriented here. This is around the Quad Cities between Illinois and Iowa. And even though they're still forecasting maybe a 3 to 6 inch swath in through here, it's going to be the conversion rate as it quickly converts over. That's going to be the most difficult thing to figure out. So at times, very, very heavy snow. But again, I totally agree. This is going to be like a slushy snow that's going to fall in this area. Overall, though, you know what I've been talking about with respect to the water levels in the soil across the Mississippi Basin. I don't really care how it's coming. The fact is that we're getting moisture back into this area. That's going to be critical for this upcoming growing season. Now back to the winds. We are expecting 30 to 60 mile an hour gusts at times here in parts of the Ohio River Valley. Winds out of the north on the backside or north-northwest at 30 to 40 miles an hour at times. But what I'm really intrigued by is the wave that's right here between New Mexico and Texas. That's going to be one to watch very, very carefully. So let's go on and see it. This is the 8 a.m. We're going to start at 8 a.m. this morning with a high res NAM. As we play this low forward, look at it spread all this heavy rain into parts of southern Michigan, over into Ontario. Again, we have more storms along the south, but this will be the spot. That'll be the difficult spot to forecast where the rate of conversion of rain to snow is going to be. And there will be a very sharp edge on the northern side of this for where that snow line will be. So very difficult forecast for us in the National Weather Service. So that low moves into Ontario and into Quebec eventually. And then the next system is taking shape. It's hard to see, but out ahead of it, there's this subtropical flow. The upper level wave has come down right here. And what we're going to be watching for is how far to the south it digs into Louisiana. So while the cold air sweeps in on the backside of this for Friday into Friday night, giving us other like long tendrils of lake effect snow, we're going to see where this next low curls up over Louisiana. Now, if you're watching this and you're in the Carolinas or Virginia, the farther to the south it forms and the farther to the south it initially tracks, the better the chances are of getting snow into this area. It could include parts of western, North Carolina and Virginia close to the mountains. I think most of it is going to be in the mountains, but then also eastern parts of Kentucky and Tennessee. So here's the wave, and this is what you need to watch. See this guy right here? That's where it is this morning in New Mexico, and it digs down into Texas and then shows up right here. If this lifts quickly, then the issue will be rain. If it digs and comes out like this, then we're talking about more snow for North Carolina and Virginia. So what we've got right now is something in the middle. And if it does that, that snow's going to stay all in the Appalachian Mountains. It's not going to get over into parts of western North Carolina and parts of Virginia. So that's the current setup, and this is going through Sunday evening. There's another low that's coming through Southern California at this time. We're going to talk more about California in a moment. And as you can see, that low, watch this, comes in, ejects just like the other ones, and runs straight up like this. This means next Tuesday into Wednesday, Thursday has another large low that's coming through. And it is then followed by the next one. See it coming down here? And that one's going to dig through and eject in the same location. So this pattern is very active across that same corridor. So for the next 10 days, I see 4 different low pressure systems. Now this map only accounts for the next 7 days, but it adds up total precipitation here. Now to see each one of these systems, I'd like to go back to our multi-model analysis. We've already watched this system. So what we're now going to do is we're going to see where the next low is emerging in the southeast. See it here? So there's the cutoff low coming into California. That'll be the one that follows. This is the second of 4 systems that goes up through North Carolina, hitting most of its snow, I believe, in the Appalachian Mountains or in eastern Tennessee and Kentucky. So you notice that both the GFS and the European are both trying to put that snow in the same spot. Meanwhile, very heavy rains to the south of this and throughout most of North and South Carolina into Virginia. Now, this low does not run up the East Coast. There's no big area of high pressure that's sitting here that would make that happen. So this one exits pretty quickly. But we have the next system to watch, and it comes out of the panhandles again, goes right across the Red River Valley. The GFS is back to its normal business, where it's the faster of the 2 models, the European a bit slower with more snow north. And like I said, the next system rolls through and possibly delivers more snow to the Rockies, and then that one comes out. A little bit different timing here. We're out to next Thursday in this forecast for this one, but as it rolls through, could produce some snow in the Midwest, also some heavy rains and strong storms in the south and southeast, and that just seems to be the track we're on with this pattern. Climate Prediction Center's got me thinking about a couple of things here. There is this low sitting off the coast after the animation I just showed you on the 17th through the 19th, which could start to return better moisture to California. Remember, California's been quite dry overall since the end of the multi-atmospheric river event that stopped on about the 17th of the month. But they're also concerned about very wet conditions here. On the snow side of it, keeping a close eye on this corridor, adding more snow as we get out there into the 16th to the 22nd. I do agree with the CPC on this. And also very strong winds with each of these systems. You can kind of see this overall area out there past mid-month where we've got the concern for the stronger winds. But if we get back to it, let me give you the national picture on snowfall. So this is system number 1. Then we have the one that comes through the Carolinas, 2. And then you have the one that's coming, remember, the one that goes through California, then dips and ejects. It attempts to put down its snow right over the top of the same area. See that? And then remember, there's another one that follows it. That's number 4. So the model here is really quite aggressive on a corridor. In this area, we're picking up decent amounts of snow, plus what you've got here. If we just zoom in real quick, I want to show you the southeast total rainfall through the next 10 days, very high amounts. So generally speaking, a large area of 2 to 4 inches of rain down here. And again, I would like to show you the European model solution on this snow. We're going to use this purely as guidance right now, just because of the nuanced path of this system. The farther east it goes, the more you move this snow into North Carolina and Virginia. All right. And then I want to show you this, a couple probability maps. This is the probability over the next 10 days of getting at least 6 inches of snow. So remember, we have going through here 3 different systems that could add to this total that come out of the 4 corner states after going through California. And then I want to show you the probability of getting at least an inch of liquid out of this, and then step it up to a probability of at least 2 inches, and then now 4. So you can see how very wet the southeast is with the next several systems rolling through. Okay, in the report today, we talk a bit about recent temperature patterns. I go back over the last 45 days to show how mild it was across North America and also across much of Europe. We just kind of have a quick discussion about what that might mean going forward. Because this temperature pattern we're currently in, take a look at this. Very warm, but under the incredibly strong winds today in this part of the Ohio River Valley. But any shot at colder air is brief. That's Friday's highs, getting into Saturday and Sunday. And then we go here into early next week. This is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So while much of the West sees a colder bias throughout really the next 10 to 15 days, if you're east of the Rocky Mountains, any shot at colder air is really short-lived. And here's the latest update on that 5-day sliding window of temperature anomalies. As we play this out past mid-month, one of the things I thought the models were cluing in on was better chance of this cold air advancing farther to the south. The latest trends just keep it there. A lot of mild air is now showing up fully into the 3rd and 4th week of February for east of the Rocky Mountains. Much cooler to the west. Now, bigger picture things. If we keep this pattern, cold here and warm there, the jet stream just loves to do this. And what I like about that is that, again, throughout the Mississippi Basin, there is a lot of area through here that has very low subsurface soil moisture. Well, most of this part of it does. And these repeated systems in February are going to be crucial to delivering that moisture back to this area, then relieving us of drought stress and drought worry going into spring. Throughout the West, I do see a bit of a pattern shift coming in March that could deliver better moisture to California. We definitely need that. We're going to cover that in tonight's in-depth report. We'll also give you a bit more information about South America, but here's my latest update on South America. Not too much has changed in the forecast overall for South America with the newest model runs. What I see with this is continued harvest and planting delays throughout much of Brazil, simply due to how wet things are in central Brazil. Okay, I'll wrap it up here. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.